question messed up because you're looking right.
Oh man.
You did?
What? You want me to go look?
All right, start copying this down. Today is the 20th. What we're going to talk about today, translating images, using coordinates. Translating is not very difficult. What's another name for a translation?
Movement.
Slide. All right, so that's not going to be very difficult. We sort of did that on the starter back there. And understanding the composition. Composition is not very difficult either. All a composition is when you do more than one transformation to a shape or an object or whatever it is that you're dealing with. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to watch this video. Hopefully. Maybe not. Yeah.
Still recording.
Yeah, her.
Microphone. I've been looking for you to watch this night at home. Check his love, check his life. This is going on the official record of everything in history.
That'll be on there forever.
Hello, NSA.
Hello.
You know what the really sad thing is? Is that you have such a life that you're talking about going home and rewatching. Just so you can hear your own voice.
Well, it's different when it's uploaded by someone professional. It's like,
You have such, your life is so exciting.
well, I mean, when you,
Have you seen
yeah, it is so exciting. My parents are old, so they're like, oh, we should go do nothing today. I'm like, all right, that's
They're gonna
cool.
listen to this and like, Brian.
Yeah, they go home and watch like the infomercials about old TV shows just to watch the old TV show.
Did they watch Scrubs? That's what my
Don't
dad
tell
tells
me
me.
this is not even gonna work.
My grandma wanted True Blood.
Well, I mean, they go home and they're like,
And then I'm like, Grandma, what do you watch?
oh, you watched the TV show Twilight?
Teacher too.
Yeah.
Alright, listen now.
Alright, so this is our lesson on 9-8 translations.
I know it's blurry, but follow along, it's not
You know
difficult.
the translation. Starts the word translation. It's a slide.
You might want to jot down a couple of things that he says through here, because I don't have any notes really today. There's a couple of definitions, but you might want to jot some things down that he says. Like knowing that translation's a slide, you probably already know that.
Movement of that figure. So if I have a figure, a square, and I push it one way or the other, it's almost like sliding it from one place to the next. And that has movement that we can chart with our x, y coordinates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the figure up here in quadrant 2, and I'm just going to slide it to a different spot in the coordinate plane. Maybe there. And now I want to look at I'll focus on one point of that square. So point A, for instance, is here. That's the original square. It's where it started. And I slid it way over there to quadrant 4. But I know where A ended up. It's right here. But that's not the original A, so I put a mark on it, which signifies the image of A. So over here we have the original, and then the translated image of the original is the blue square. So we're going to put image over here. And next I want to chart that movement. So if I look at A, I see that it started here. And now I'm just going to count basically the number of units that have traveled to the right. And right is positive on the forward plane. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that the x coordinate for A went 6 to the right, which is a positive movement. So I put x plus 6.
Now, most of this is ridiculous, and I understand most of you will completely understand it. That he's writing down now, how you write the rule, make sure you understand that. Because that's the part that's probably new for you.
The y is minus 6. It's negative right here. It's negative because we went down. Down is negative on the coordinate plane. So I have a positive shift of 6, and then I have a negative shift of 6. And every point will follow that formula, that order. So if I take another point on the square and I call it B, I know where B is down here in the image, but I put a mark on it because it is the image. So here's the original B, and here's the image of B. It's like an imitation. You know, you got the original singer, and then you got somebody who's trying to duplicate what they do, and they're just not as good. But these are the same. Anyway, B moves in the same fashion. If I chart B's progress, I go right 6, and I go down 6. It's the same, and will be for every point on that square. C and D, C image, D image. We have the same. So, let's do it again. Now I've got a triangle. It doesn't matter what figure you have, you know, any polygon you want. You can translate just about anything. You just have to push it. Translation is a slide. So if I take the triangle and I just push it here into quadrant 2, it started 4, it's back to 2, it's like the reverse what I did before. That would be a positive in the y, so it's special circumstance. That'd be a negative in the x, and a positive in the y. But that's too simple for the last example. I'm just going to go straight up. I need a point that I can look at. I would call it A, because it's just A. So the image of A is right here. Mark on it, and it's the image. Black is the original, blue is the image. Let's chart our progress. So, what happened to the x? X is horizontally, and since the triangle didn't move left, right, it just kind of up, nothing happened to x. So I'm not going to plus 0, because I'm not going to bring plus 0. So x stays x. The y did have some change. It had vertical change, which is why that is positive because it went up. And all you have to do is count it. See, 4, 5. So we'll start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went up 5. 1 plus 5. That's my answer. So with a grid, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is count. But with anything, there's always a formula to it. So we don't need the grid in order to get the answer. We can just start with a couple points. So think about this one. 5 negative x. And let's call that point A. And now I'm going to translate it. So let's say you don't see me do it, but I slide a pen, I just shift that point, and it becomes 6.
So, what's the rule for what he did there? How would I write it? X plus 1, good. Y plus 6. That's what they're going to be asking you to do. All right, come up with the rule, or just look at this rule and come up with a new shape or a new figure, whatever it happens to be.
That's the original file, or the original file. This is the image of x. So go from 5 to 6 on the line, that's
Tired of, yeah, that was the end of it anyway. All he was going to do was write the rule up there. So write down these two definitions. Translation, another name for it's a slide. The one that you probably, or the things that you probably don't know today, using this rule, x plus some number, y plus some number, that's all you do as far as the rule goes. Now, I put x plus, could it just as easily be x minus? Yeah. Composition, we talked about there at the beginning. Composition is when, like on the ACT test, I know that there's a bunch of questions on there about compositions, and they'll ask you like, what's the new coordinates of a shape if you reflect it across the x-axis, then translate it 3 units to the right, then reflect it across the origin. And they'll do like 2 or 3 different things to the same shape, and you got to know what that is, and that's called a composition. So when you're doing more than one movement to the same shape. We won't do a whole lot with compositions. The only reason I even bring it up, the book talks about compositions as far as instead of translating something, instead of sliding something around, a translation could also be a double reflection. And we're not going to go into that because I don't think it's all that real important that you reflect. If you have a shape here, if I have this shape here, you could actually reflect it over to here, then reflect it over to here, and it would end up being the same as translating it some other way. We're not going to go into a whole lot with compositions, but you should know that you should be able to do things where they ask you to do two things to it, like reflect it, then slide it, or reflect it, and then rotate it. What they do to that shape? They translate it. How did they translate it? Somebody count it up for me. Five to the right. Count for me.
You get 6 to the right. No, never mind.
So how many to the right? 9. 8 down. So y minus 8. X plus 9, y minus 8. How about that shape? What they do to it? Didn't I mention not to say that anymore?
They reflected it over the
They did a double reflection.
axis.
A double reflection?
They didn't do a double reflection.
Yeah, they did, because it reflected in the quadrant one, and down.
Now, if I reflected in the quadrant 1, where would D end up?
Over the
And then would that reflect down to this?
They rotated.
They reflected it over
No.
the X.
Still.
So first they did what? Okay, you could say they reflected it down this way, then they translated it to the right. Could say they reflected it this way, and then translated it.
But if they reflected it that way,
Or,
then it would.
I'm sorry, I said that backwards. They translated it this way, then reflected it
There
down.
you go.
Alright, so that's a composition when you do more than one thing to an object. We're not gonna do this.
Okay.
That's your
Alright.
assignment. Again, try to get on, try to do those quizzes. I will, if the videos aren't working right now, I'm hoping they're working. But if they're not, I will try to get them working before the end of the day.
Why do you use that for?
I don't want to.
You should have gotten a interim report, first block from your teacher. This one is my, just interim report just for my class. I'll try to pass these out to you each.
Here we go.
Yeah, you can go. Each time we have interim reports, just so you can see what stuff is in here. Oh, the test. If you have your test paper right there handy, you can lay it right here on this desk. If not, make sure I remember next week to collect it from you.
What are we doing now? Our orange too?
Brown. Yeah, orange too.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Wait, what?
Yeah,